Hello friends, this is Durga again from ITversity. As part of this video, we will see how to test the program using Scala IDE. It is pretty straightforward. First, we need to validate uh, or we need to review how our program is structured, what are the parameters it takes. We cannot directly run it by just right clicking and going to run as an Scala application. It will not work because we are using some of the parameters as part of our program. Our program is expecting parameters to be passed, and first we need to understand what are those parameters that needs to be passed. So the parameter name is args for our main function, and here there are three parameters which our program is expecting. The first one is input path. You can see it here. Okay, so the input path is the base directory under which we have orders, order items, etc. So in my case, it is this one. This is the location where I have to where I have my data for orders, order items, and all those things, and I need to just pass the base directory here. And if you get into the logic where I am trying to read the files for orders and order items, I am concatenating with the orders table, orders directory and order items directory as part of sc.txt file to input path. Input path, and then we have output path where the data has to be written, and then the third parameter is the deployment mode. Okay, and setMaster is the method on SparkConf which will control how the program should run. It can take either local, it can take or Yarn client or Mesos or Spark standalone. So it can take any of any parameter related to these four different deployment modes. Okay, so typically in dev we will be executing, or in our local system we will be executing the application using Scala IDE for Eclipse or some other IDE, or even from the command prompt. We might not have any cluster up and running here, so we will try to prefer to run in local. Once it is tested, once it is functionally working, we will push to the higher environments, and then we will start executing in the cluster modes. The cluster modes can be Mesos or Yarn client. Those two are the most popular ones, and it has to understand that, and it has to adjust itself. For that reason, what we have done, we have actually used a package called, or API called typesafe-config, and we have created application.properties where we have defined all the dev parameters using dev as the prefix and all the prod parameters using prod as prefix. In this case, we have only one parameter, which is deployment master. For dev it is local, for prod it is the Yarn client. And then we use typesafe-config. We created a config object by using config factory.load method, and then in the setMaster we are using the config factory or config object, and then we have get config method, to which we have to pass whether it is we are trying to run in development or production as parameter. So in this case, we just have to pass it as dev or prod. If it is dev, it will check for dev.deployment master, because once you read this, once you use this mode appconf or configuration object dot get config and pass the parameter, if there are any other parameters in that category, it will try to read all those parameters, and we can actually get into this actual parameter names in the category of dev or prod by passing this one. So this entire logic will try to go look for dev.deployment master if you pass the parameter dev, and get the value for it, which is local, and then it will try to run it in local mode. Similarly, if you run it as prod, then this logic will try to get prod.deployment master, which is Yarn client, and it will try to run it in Yarn mode. Okay, so these three are the parameters, and then our logic have some validations about the input path. If the output path already exists, it will try to delete and recreate it, and then it will execute our logic of getting average revenue on daily basis. That being said, now you can right click on it, go to run as, don't click on Scala applications, it will fail. Go to run configurations. In this case it's already there. If it is not there, you have to give the name. The name is whatever you want to give. Make sure that it is in the right project. And the main class, you have to give the class name with the package prefix. So in this case, retail is the package name and average revenue daily is our class name, and we should not have any extension here, just package name dot the class name. And then go to arguments. We take 3 parameters. The first one is the base directory where we have the retail data such as orders, order items, etc. So retail DB is the base directory, which is this one. I just copy pasted this one. And the second parameter is the output path. If this path already exists, as per our logic, it will try to delete and it will recreate. And we can check that here whether the directory does exist. It does exist. It will be deleted and it will be recreated. And the third parameter is dev. Okay, and then you can click on run. It will launch the Spark context, and then it will run the logic. Over time you need to understand all the information it emits when you run the program. That way it will help you in troubleshooting the issues. Here I will not be covering that in detail. It's for advanced developers. So over time you need to understand all these things. What is this DAG scheduler, what is task set manager, what is task scheduler, and sometimes you need to even trace certain things. Okay, it actually show you how the program is being executed. I will not get into too many details here. It is not required for typical developers. Even the intermediate level, it is not required. Only experts, they need to have some knowledge about it, and you have to build this over time. Okay, that being said, now let us validate whether it has created the directory successfully or not. I am running lsltr command again. It has ran. You can see the timestamp, which is 5:30, and my laptop time is 5:31, so which is close. Hence the program has ran successfully. We have to go to this location, ls-ltr view part, and you can see that we got the order date and the average revenue for each day. It's not total revenue, it's average revenue. Average revenue is nothing but total revenue by number of orders. Okay, so we got the data in the ascending order, and that's what we try to print here. Okay, so that being said, I hope you are enjoying the content. We have successfully ran the program in the local mode. As part of the next video, we will see how to build the jar file out of this and run in the cluster in cluster mode. That being said, I hope you are enjoying the content. If you like, or if you have to provide the feedback or rating, please do so. Especially when it comes to rating, please give me the full rating. If you think otherwise, please let me know the issue so that I can work on those issues as part of my future content. That being said, thank you. Bye.